Alright, hello and welcome. My name is Jason Welsh, and today I would like to talk about mounting stones to stones and mounting stones to other things for electroforming. So one of the things I used to use was this epoxy putty stuff, and the bad thing about that is it always made this bulky residue behind because you could never get it quite fine enough. So what I want to do is, here's an example. Got this black tourmaline, and what I want to do is put this in here. You can see how loose it is, right? So what I want to do is mount it in there enough so I can grow some electroforming onto it. How do I do that? Well, Bob Smith Industries Maxi Cure. I love this super glue. You can use any super glue really, but this is some of my favorites because it's extra thick. Alright, so I get it at an angle I like, and where the wire is touching, or close to touching, because they don't really have to touch, I will put some super glue. That's where I'm going to grow my electroforming. Okay, now I do not want to sit here all day and let that dry, so what I'll do is take some baking soda, and douse it in baking soda. Okay, now I'll do the other side. And voila, there we go. So now it sits in there for let it dry 24 hours before you apply your electroforming paint onto it. But at this point it is very well mounted in there, and that stuff dries. When you go to try to grind this stuff off, if you get too much on there, you'll notice that it is very hard, even with a Dremel, to get it off. So it's very sturdy, very weather resistant, very resistant to all chemicals. Yeah, good stuff. Okay, let's look at another scenario where you can use this. I have these. This is tracing paper. Don't use wax paper. Use something like a rice paper, maybe. The reason you don't want wax paper is because wax paper, the conductive ink won't stick to it. I know, I tried. So I'm going to put a generous amount of this down. Then I'm going to arrange these into a pleasant cluster. And if I don't like the cluster, I can move them around. There we go. Perfect. It looks like it's missing something right there. Balance it with some blue. There we go. Nice. So that right there, I like it. I can let that dry. But before I let it dry, what I'll do coat it with baking soda. and now I can kind of handle it. Also, the baking soda fell down into these cracks and crevices, which I know to be kind of a loose area, and what I want to do is have electroforming grow into those cracks and crevices too. Just a drop of super glue, and what it'll do, it'll seep down in there, hit the baking soda, and instantly dry. And just a smidge of baking soda again. And there we go. That's how you make crystal clusters that you can electroform. And here's an example of one. So what you do is you cut it out as much as you can. Okay, so cut it roughly like that. And then, after you do that, there's that piece, and you can see that it's been shaped a little bit better to fit it. And then sorry, had to go get an example. And then you can mount it to a ring. So that's the final product. And then grow the electroforming onto it. So I hope you enjoyed that, just to give you some inspiration or some ideas. I always like kind of sharing that and just amping up your hobby because, I don't know, it's fun. So enjoy. And if you have any questions, leave them below.